Hello, my name is Cher Grieving, and this is my video for Module 7, EDL 850, on Internet safety. Internet safety is associated with CIPA, the Children's Internet Protection Act, which was adopted in 2000 by Congress. This act addresses the concerns that children may have access to obscene or harmful material on the internet, whether they are in a school district or in a public library. So therefore, CIPA has imposed some requirements on the school district or any place that has a public computer for children to view material on, if those entities receive discounts through E-rate funding, discounts for internet access or internet connection through E-rate funding, which I'll touch later on in my slides. CIPA's requirements include that the school district or library must have an internet safety policy, and they must have some type of filtering software to permit students or children from being able to view obscene or harmful material. COPA is also associated with internet safety. COPA is Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule, and it imposes requirements to operators of websites or those online services who collect and maintain personal information from children under the age of 13, and also those operators or online services who have knowledge that they are collecting personal information from children under the age of 13. What type of information will children under the age of 13 be adding onto the website? On my graphic here, it may be their name, their address, their parents' name, their parents' email address. Sometimes they ask for another person's email address, their telephone number, their home address. Sometimes this data is collected on certain children's websites for them to be able to enter into a certain game or just a kid's website. And if that website provider or online service person knows that they are collecting that data, they have some requirements according to COPA, and those requirements may include parental consent or the parental rights to view the personal information that is provided by the child. There are several more requirements, but I chose to list these two. Again, CIPA puts restrictions on the school districts or libraries if they are receiving E-rate funding. E-rate funding can be applied for by all school districts, charter schools, libraries. It is basically a discount on services that are essential for internet connection for schools and libraries. The discount depends on your poverty level or your location, and sometimes they range from 20% to 90% of the cost off of eligible services. I know that our school uses E-rate funding for portable hotspots, for internet access, for airports to boost the internet access, that sort of thing. In order to receive E-rate funding, you must have created and adopted a technology safety plan or an acceptable use policy that describes how you will enforce internet safety, how you will inform students and monitor their internet use. You must have some type of blocking or filtering software that helps permit students from viewing these websites. And you must follow the requirements to continue your E-rate funding. I know my school uses securely on and off campus to filter certain websites. There was an amendment to CIPA passed in 2012 called the Protecting Children in the 21st Century Act. And this act requires that a school's internet safety plan include to minors or education to minors about interacting with other individuals on social networking sites and cyberbullying. So that means that we must educate our children, our minors, about these two things. I took a screenshot of just the first page of one of our acceptable use policies. We have 4 policies at Logan, USD 326. We have one for K through 5, one for 6 through 12. one for faculty and one for staff. I believe they're all a little bit different on what we believe the student's responsibility is when using the computer, how they ask for permission, just the guidelines that we have set for them in order to use the computers in our school. If they violate those guidelines or break a rule, so to speak, and we have consequences. And sometimes they are breaking rules, um, not really knowing, not meaning to be on a certain website. And so we talk to them about that, and we just make sure that we're educating them on how to appropriately search for material. And then sometimes we do have students that break rules on purpose, and we have taken computers away or taken their internet access away from them for the remaining of the school year. Again, screenshots of our acceptable use policy table of contents, and then the pledge that we have each student sign at the beginning of the school year. Acceptable use table of contents, you can see there that it includes lots of information, anywhere from taking care of your device to the software that's on them, and then what we expect out of each student when using that device. The pledge is just kind of a contract that we have with our students, that we can fall back on and remind them of what is expected of them. As for the technology in our school, we have one-to-one devices for K through 12 students. Our kindergarten through 8th grade have iPads that they use during the day, but they do not get to take them home. Our high school students have MacBook Air laptops that they use throughout the day and they may take home. At enrollment, the parents and students must watch a tutorial video that describes our internet safety policy. After that, we ask them to read and sign the acceptable use policies. And then after that, we have the students sign their pledge. Also, we ask that they pay a technology fee of only $25 a year per student in order for them to be able to take their device home. Most students do pay the fee and take their devices home, although we have some that opt out and would rather leave their device at school as opposed to taking them home. And the reason for that is because they know they will have to pay a certain amount towards buying a new device in the event it is lost or stolen or damaged. So how are we doing at my school? I just surveyed my daughter, I guess, and the information she gave me is kind of alarming. I teach in the resource room. I am the special education teacher. My students do use the computer in my room. They use their devices in my room. I have paraeducators working with me, and we really monitor what they do probably more than any other student is monitored in the school building. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. Of course, my students get one-to-one instruction and attention throughout the school day. But as for the rest of the students in Logan High School, my daughter says she gives us a 3 out of 10 on teaching internet safety. Yikes, that's scary. I asked her why, and she said she only has heard about internet safety from her freshman computer teacher. And that's because freshman computers is a required class, and it's part of her curriculum that she teach internet safety. And we also know that it's part of our acceptable use policy to teach internet safety, and it's part of SEPA and E-rate funding. But I think we cover it during their freshman year, and then we expect them to remember what they've been taught and apply it throughout the rest of their high school career. As she also stated that the teachers just assume we know about it, so they don't talk to us about it, and things won't happen because of the area we live in, which I'm just from a very small school district, a 1A school, a rural community. We are not urban by any means. Our population of our town is right at 800. We have about 60 students in our high school and about 30 students in our junior high and about 60 to 70 students in the elementary. So you can tell we are very small, and I guess we just assume things aren't going to happen in our area. But I know better, and especially after watching the video on Alicia's act, that it is scary. It's a real thing, and I might just mention this to our administration and technology committee about how we need to remind the staff of informing and just reiterating the internet safety and how important it is to our students. That's all. Thank you for watching.